Hey rock stars, welcome back to another episode of Desi Diva Chronicles, where we get real about life, stories abroad, and navigate all the challenges that comes with it. I'm your host Anaga Suresh, and today we are diving into a question I've been asked a million times. Okay, maybe not a million, but you get what I mean, right? It's one of those questions we struggle from time to time. And that is, how do we stick to a routine, especially on days when motivation is nowhere to be found? Oof, if that hits close to home, stay with me because we are going to talk about it in a way that will hopefully make you see things a little differently. You know how it goes. There are those magical days when you're bursting with energy, everything is aligned, and you're just crushing it. You're sticking to your workout, working on that side project, or maybe even hitting every item on your to do list. And then there are other days. You wake up and motivation is nowhere to be found. And you know what you should be doing, but you're just not feeling it. It's like there's a wall between you and your to do list, and you can't break through. Sound familiar? Yeah, I've been there. We've all been there. Here's the thing, everyone experiences this. And that's completely okay. You're not broken because you don't feel motivated. But what I want to share today is a little mental shift that has helped me a lot on those days when I just don't feel like doing anything. And here's what I've learned, to stick to a routine, especially when motivation is low, you have to treat your goals and your routine like a job. Let me break it down. We all have days when we don't want to work, right? Maybe you did not sleep well, or maybe you just were not in the mood. But you know what? We still show up, don't we? Why? Because we have a responsibility. We show up for work because there's a paycheck on the line, deadlines on the line, bosses to answer. We understand the importance of showing up even when it's hard. Now ask yourself this. Would you take a day off from job just because you didn't feel like going? Most likely not, right? So why do you let ourselves off the hook so easily when it comes to our own personal goals? Now this is where the shift happens. Your personal goals and routines deserve the same level of commitment. Whether it's working out, writing a book, building a business, or just sticking to your skincare routine, the results come from consistency. Showing up for yourself is just as important as showing up for your job. And when I say show up, I don't mean you give your 100% every single time. Sometimes showing up may look like doing the bare minimum, and that's okay. The point is that you're keeping the momentum going. I'm going to get real with you here. There are days when I absolutely do not want to work. I look at my yoga mat and think, not today. But I ask myself this question immediately. If this were my job, would I skip it just because I don't feel like doing it? Of course not. So I spread out the mat, and even if I do only a 10-minute practice, I do it. And that's what matters. Now, there's another myth we all love to believe, perfection. Perfection is a myth. It's not about doing things perfectly every day, it's about progress and not perfection. This is something we often get stuck on. We think, if I'm not going to do the whole thing, or if I'm not going to do it perfectly, why even bother? But showing up imperfectly is still showing up. And that's where the magic is. Every little step you take, even on the tough days, adds up. This is something we get stuck on. We think, if I'm not going to do the whole thing, or if I'm not going to do it perfectly, why even bother doing it? But showing up imperfectly is still showing up. And that's where the magic is. Every little step you take, even on the tough days, adds up. Here's another thing that really helps me: focusing on small wins. If the idea of going to the gym for an hour feels like too much, workout, commit to just putting on your workout clothes. If writing a full blog or creating a full video feels overwhelming, tell yourself you'll write just for 10 minutes, or tell yourself you'll just record a 5-second video. What happens? Once you get started, it becomes easier to keep going. The hardest part is almost and always to get started. But once you're in motion, it's so much easier to keep moving. It's like the Newton's law of inertia, right? An object in motion stays in motion. And that's exactly how we need to treat our routine. So the next time you're feeling unmotivated and want to skip out on your routine, ask yourself, would I skip work just because I don't feel like it? Treat your goals and routines with the same respect you give your job. This mindset shift has been a game changer for me, and it importantly takes the focus off of how I feel at the moment and puts it back on the commitment I have made for myself. I hope this resonated with you today, because the truth is, we all have days when motivation is nowhere to be found. But it's on those days that showing up matters the most. Even if it's a tiny effort, even if it is imperfect, showing up for yourself builds momentum. It's how real change happens. So here's my takeaway for you: treat your goals like a job. You wouldn't skip work just because you don't feel like it. And your personal goals deserve the same level of dedication. You've got this, and I'm rooting for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on the Desi Diva Chronicles. If this episode gave you a little boost or inspiration or shifted your mindset, I would love to hear from you. And here's the thing: the only way we grow is by you sharing this with others. When you share this on your stories on Instagram or share it with a friend or family, you could be making a positive impact on someone else's life. And trust me, they will thank you forever. So don't keep the good vibes for just yourself, spread them around. Remember, showing up for yourself is the most important job you will ever have. And I'm here cheering for you every step of the way. Until next time, keep showing up, keep moving forward, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Take care.